Two chemical attacks have hit northern Syria in the past few days, one in the government-controlled city of Aleppo and one in the rebel-held territory of Sarakib. The attack that occurred in Aleppo was perpetrated, according to the Russian Defense Ministry, by one of the U.S.-backed moderate rebel groups.
A recent chemical attack in Syria was carried out by an organization called Nuri al-Din al-Zenki. This is an organization supported by the United States as it fights to topple the Syrian government as part of the so-called moderate opposition. This is not the first time this organization has been involved in atrocities. Recently, a video surfaced of a 12-year-old Syrian boy purportedly being beheaded by members of the group. Now, that video is a little too graphic to show on television. The United States still supporting this organization?
I don't have in front of me that we actually fund them. I mean, you're saying we provide them with assistance?
Yes, as part of the so-called moderate opposition.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Now, the group
again,
also.
I haven't seen the allegations yet, so I think it's too early for me to A, make that assessment, and B, make that connection.
What does a rebel group in Syria have to do to not receive U.S. funds any longer?
Again, these are not easy processes, and one incident here and there would not necessarily make you a terrorist group. For a terrorist organization, there are fundamental actions, one of which is an intention to carry out terrorist attacks, both within Syria, but as well as on the West. Look, we're constantly evaluating their behavior.
Just to be clear, if a group was using chemical weapons, their funding would be cut off.
Again, I will not make any statements of one or the other until we know all the facts.
Now, the chemical attack took place in government-controlled areas in the city of Aleppo. What generally happens when people inhale chlorine gas is it causes intense burning in their eyes and in their lungs. It can eventually cause suffocation. This charge of using chemical weapons adds to the gravity of continued U.S. support for this Syrian rebel group.
Continue to reach out to these opposition groups to ensure that they are adhering to the cessation and continuing to create the environment for a political transition.
We agreed that this group would be a part of the HNC with the expectation that they will not commit violations of the cessation and that they will not carry out brutal attacks.
This was more than 20 nations agreed that the only groups that would not be party to the cessation of hostilities would be those designated as terrorist organizations by the UN.
American media don't make it real clear the nature of the groups we're supporting in Syria. We keep hearing about moderate opposition instead of calling them what they are. These are radical Islamic jihad terror groups, the same ones we keep saying we're worried about launching attacks here in the United States. Here we are supporting groups in Syria that have this jihadist ideology, cut off heads of little kids, use chemical weapons, and I don't think the American people really make the connection because our media does not report it.
I mean, the group that's most likely to benefit from that is Al-Qaeda. They ignite some gas, some people die, and blame it on Assad. Assad, I don't think, is an idiot. I don't think he would do this on purpose in order for the whole world to come down on him.
So you question whether Assad even used the gas and that he's just being set up.
I mean, look how many lies were told to us about Saddam Hussein prior to that build-up.
If a dictator using chemical weapons on his own people isn't a litmus test for us to help those people, for Ron Paul, what is?
Well, I think getting to the truth of it, and that's what we're not getting to, because when Saddam Hussein used the gases, some of the products were bought from us, and he was still our ally. So you can't ignore that. No, I don't. I think it's a false flag. I think really, indeed. And nobody knows if indeed he was slaughtering people by the thousands, with poison gas. That's a different story, but that isn't the case. Matter of fact, 100,000 deaths are the case. And it's not, the implication is that Assad committed 100,000 killings. There are a lot of factions out there. Why don't we ask, about the Al-Qaeda? Why are we on the side of the Al-Qaeda right now? So I think they want the weapons. The rebels want the weapons. There's a bunch of people in there. Al-Qaeda is part of it. And this is the test for us to drop a couple bombs and then send in weapons.
So we're being sucked in. You argue we're being sucked in. It's dangerous.
Big time, and it's big risk.